Hello everybody, it's Will here. It's been quite a while since I've been able to do a video, so my apologies for that. Several things have come up, and I'm not going to get too much into the details here. Back for an inspection of the hive. It's May 29th. It's about almost 9 in the morning, maybe it is 9. Here to inspect both hives. Fair bits happened since you guys were last here. As you can see, I have honey supers on. Last week I did a beekeeping show and tell for some of the kids of the employees where I work at. So I actually had an observation box that I brought in, put a couple of frames of bees in along with the queen bee, and gave the kids a chance to see live honeybees doing their thing. I've also completely pulled the entrance reducers on both hives. Both hives are pretty active right now. My main reason for being here today is this smaller hive here is the hive that I had pulled the frames out for the demo, so I want to make sure it's okay. Interesting thing is, see this mud here? That means that I've had a skunk here trying to eat bees. That's interesting. Take a couple pictures of that. So that's what that's all about. There's a skunk. They'll come up, they'll scrape the box, get a couple of bees to poke out, and they just grab them and get a quick snack. So that's, I don't think I've suspected I had skunk, but I never saw sure signs of it. But that, see how that's padded down there? That's a sure sign of it. Going back to what I was saying, since I pulled the queen bee out of this hive and have had her out of the hive for quite a while last week, I want to make sure that things are okay here. They were storing a good bit of honey in this first box, so I added a second last week just to give them plenty of space. I actually did that on both hives. This bigger hive has been a little slower in putting honey in the box, so I want to see how they're doing with that as well. So without further delay, we'll get looking at the hives. Got some bees up here at the inner cover, which is good. Tells me they're working maybe up there. Now the frames I put in here didn't have any comb on them at all when I did that. And I probably am going to smoke them a good bit because evidence of that skunk bothering them. So I'm just going to pull on this box. I'm just going to pull a couple of the middle frames here just to see if they've done anything. I can see they've started to draw some burnt comb on the bottoms. I'm going to let that go for a little bit. Hopefully they'll draw these out soon and start using these, but it doesn't look like they've done anything with it yet. I'm going to crack this box off. Take a look at what's going on below. Alright. I showed the kids this before, and I'm sure you've seen me use this in the past. many times. This is my frame hanger. I use that to so I can move frames out of the box and hang them on here to give me more room to work in the box. So we're gonna see how we're doing for honey now. Loosen these frames up. All this brown stuff here, that's all propolis. It's otherwise known as bee glue. Okay, haven't touched this outer frame yet. That's okay. This is all blank foundation. When I put it in, see they're starting to draw comb here. You can tell brand new comb because it's like white. Like the bees haven't tracked their much on it. Okay, they're storing, this has some weight to it, and they're storing some honey in this. This is a uncapped nectar. Here you can see a little bit of it's capped. They're working at drying this nectar down and getting the water content down enough that it becomes honey, and then they cap it. This one has a fair bit of weight. No, it capped honey there. That's great. I'm not going to mess with this too much. They're saving the middle kind of like it was a brood nest. Which I'd rather them not do. And this is a single deep hive, which I think is why they're doing that. But I think what I'm going to do is reverse the order of the boxes. I'm going to put the I think I'm going to put this box on top and see what if that changes that, if they will then fill up the box. Maybe not. I'll think about it. It's one of those decisions, you know, I've never decisions you make as you're going. I'm trying to keep this hive as a single deep brood box. I don't want to put a second deep one. Like if you look at this one, there's 2 deeps. I just want to see in this area how well a single deep can do. They overwintered in a single. Okay. And their numbers are good. Look at all these bees. This is a queen excluder. This keeps the queen from being able to come up and lay eggs where I don't want her to. I'm looking to make sure that she's not on this. She can't fit through these holes, but the worker bees can. That's how that works. Coming out of winter, this colony was basically a small nuke size. And they've grown. Look at that. I got 7 frames worth. I could probably put another deep one here and be just fine. I haven't really touched this too much. They got a little bit of new comb going. Starting to draw here a little bit. This is where this frame hanger comes in handy. So now I have all this space in here I can have to work inside the box. So I'm gonna be careful. Look for the queen. Or signs of the queen. Again, this hive had quite the shock because I had taken the queen away for quite a while last week. You can see some pollen stores here, some nectar on the outside, which is good. You got young larvae and eggs, so I am queen right, or I know I've had a queen in here in the last 3 days. Look at that brood. These are all capped brood cells. And older larvae and eggs clean up here in the corner, so she's making full use of that. That's all capped, brand new capped brood. That's a heck of a pattern too. That's a heck of a pattern. All this capped brood is about to emerge. See how dark the tops of the cells are. Both sides. This hive is doing great. I'm not too worried about this hive because I did see egg cells. Or eggs in cells. Haven't spotted the queen yet. But that's okay. Got some older larvae mixed with some capped cells here, so she's backfilling. No queen cups, which is good. Last week when I was in here, I had spotted some queen cups. There's a queen cup there. But it's empty. So I'm not going to worry about it. You've seen me do this before too. If I want to gently move bees out of the way, I'll bring the hive up kind of close to my veil and just gently blow some air. And the bees will clear out of the way. You want to do it gently though. Get my smoker going again. There we go. I'm going to mess with this hive too much more. I still need to decide what I'm going to do about these honey supers though. There's a queen cup. empty. A couple more queen cups, they're empty, but they're high on the frame. When they're high on the frame like this, I usually don't worry about them swarming too much. Swarm cells will be kind of down at the bottom. These are more like emergency supersedure cells. There's the queen. She's right here. So I know this hive's queen, right? Good. Alright, so I'm not going to mess with this anymore. She's here. They're not replacing her, which is what I was worried about. So I'm going to put this back together. I think I'm going to leave the hive alone. Let them, as far as the honey boxes go, I'll let them decide where to put what. They got more space up top with an empty box if they need it. Put everything back pretty much the way I found it. And we'll move on to the bigger hive. My worries with the bigger hive is they're gonna, if they haven't already, they're gonna swarm. But we'll see. Maybe me giving them more space prevented that. And I think I'm actually going to pause the video here for a second and go get some more smoker fuel because I think I'm going to run out. I think that's what I'm going to do because I don't think I'm going to have enough smoker fuel to get through this next hive. So I'll be back in a bit, folks. Okay, folks. It's just like that. I'm back with a working smoker through the use of a little movie magic. So we're going to take a look at this bigger hive now. If I add another honey super onto this thing, I'm not going to be tall enough. Which is funny. Alright, so take a quick look at this upper box, see if they're doing anything with this. Again, this was undrawn comb or undrawn foundation. One of the things I did different with my foundation this year is I coated it myself on top of the wax coating that supposedly comes from the people who you buy your frames from, because you know they're in the business of saving money. So am I. But in their saving money, they use as little wax as possible to coat these frames, and sometimes you may as well just not have them coated. Alright, so they're really not doing anything with this top box, which isn't surprising. Except for they got it glued down. Alright, now this box had drawn comb in it from last year that I had extracted honey out of. So I just put those frames back in. They already have the comb, so they don't need to draw it. All they had to do is start filling it. Let's see how they did, or how they're doing. Okay, got some nectar going in here, which is good. Nothing much going on there. There we go. These frames are starting to fill out now. They're filling in and drying down, capping off. This one has some weight. Holy cow. Yeah. Hopefully they keep this up. The weather's been pretty encouraging. We'll get, look how beautiful it is. We'll get days like this, and then we'll get a day or two of rain, and then we'll get days like this and a day or two of rain. And as far as nectar flow goes, that's perfect. This is almost a full box of honey. Look at that. So I think what I'm going to do here is because bees tend not to like to fill out the end frames, because they're on the ends down here, I'm going to move the end frames to the middle. They're filling these up nicely. I'm going to reverse the order a little bit. I'm going to put these fuller frames on the outside so they can finish them off. I'm going to put the not so full frames on the inside, and then this way hopefully I'll end up with a full super. So basically I'm doing a little bit of rearranging. We'll see how this works out. Alright, so if I'm lucky, they'll fill up those other frames just as full as they did the other ones. Alright, so time to take this super off. Maybe. Whew. Alright. Let's box is going to be heavy. Yep. A full medium box like that, when it's full of honey, it will be almost 50 pounds. A full box like this will be almost 80 to 100 pounds full of honey, which is why I use these smaller ones, because I want to save my back a little bit. Whoop. Queen excluder off. Okay, so really what I'm doing here is digging down, make sure I'm queen right, really, and see if they're swarming or thinking about swarming. Other than that, I don't want to mess with them too much. I can see they got honey stores right here, a bunch of them. Hopefully they move that up. This is why I'm experimenting a little bit with the single deep versus the double deep. This has more bees in it, but they're not putting a honey where I'd like, and I just ripped up that honey. Look at that honey. Alright, so I don't want to pull this frame out because it's dripping. So I'm going to pull this one out. Set to the side. And I'll clean that up. I'd just rather it drip into the hive and not elsewhere. Okay, got older larvae up here. Oh, one thing about this frame holder I should tell you about is you try not to move any brood out there, because the bees need to keep it warm. Even though it's going on 60 some degrees right now, they need to keep that brood at like 80 or 90. Nice sheet of cat brood there. So this queen's been doing good. Brood cells and queen cups up top. I'm not worried about those. Can't see down in them really well to see if there's eggs in those cells. I need the sun, just a little bit more sun. Or larva. Tons of queen cups on the bottom. And the other possibility, I mean, they may have already swarmed, but I don't see any evidence of that yet either. I'm seeing older larvae. And I haven't seen any queen cells that were taken down either, or partially taken down. If I see eggs, I'll be happy, and that's almost where I'll probably stop, except for looking for swarm cells in the lower box. Well, that's a nice sheet of brood. Same there. I suspect these two frames will be honey and brood. Yep. Now here's a prime example of how you want your bees to do. So they make this circle there. That's where the queen lays her eggs, and then they pack food up on the edges of that. See that? Now, I would bet that this frame here will probably be almost all honey. Now, yeah, holy cow, that whole thing is honey. Look at that. Perfect. All right. Now on the bottom half, on the bottom box of this, because it's a double deep, we'll see that opposite pattern where the semicircle will be towards the top of the frame, and the food and stuff will be outline the outer rim or the lower rim. I'm going to put this box away. So it looks like she laid this up a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to move this honey frame out. Is there brood on that? No. I'm going to try to encourage them to draw this frame out by putting it in between two well-established frames. Okay. I actually like working the bees in the morning here. They seem to be a lot more relaxed. It's warm enough for them to go start foraging, but it's not super bad. That box has a lot of honey in it. That was heavy. Okay, so I'm kind of hoping to see egg cells down here, and if I see them, that's kind of where I'll probably quit, except for looking for swarm cells, and those I'll look for mainly in the middle. No, of the boxes for the bees to kind of get aggravated with, it'll be this one, because this is where all the foragers are coming back in, and they're older bees, and I hate to say it, but they're the foragers are the more temperamental of the bees, because they are the older ones. Okay, they haven't done. All right, they're starting to draw that frame out. That's good. Hard to believe I'm afraid of bees, or I was. I actually got my first sting a couple weeks ago in the back of the neck. Somehow a bee found her way into the hood of my bee veil and got me. Okay, so now we're looking for eggs, a queen, and queen cells. No eggs there. eggs there that I can tell. Maybe she's ready to lay there. You see how the numbers are higher here? That's because of all the foragers. Cat brood. Okay, getting towards the middle of the box. If I was going to see signs of swarming, it'd be there. Queen cups there in the middle. No, nothing in them. Okay, no eggs there. Now I could have missed eggs and stuff. Again, the sun angle wasn't ideal. And I'm holding the frame over the hive. See how the bees are boiling off the bottom of it? That way if I accidentally drop a clump of bees, they end up in the box. So no signs of swarming there. So maybe, because I didn't go through this hive last week, maybe they swarmed, already tore down the cells, and the new queen is out getting mated. Maybe, because I am seeing cat brood. I haven't seen any eggs, although I've seen older larvae. There's some older larvae there. It's like younger larvae, maybe. You don't always have to find the queen. Just signs that she's around. Yeah, there's some younger larvae. Okay. I'm gonna walk away for a second. If a particular guard bee that's bothering me. Again, start beekeeping to get over my fear of bees. It's still there, just not near as bad. The nice thing is normally you can take a few steps away and the guard bee will leave you alone. Okay. I'm going to spend a whole lot more time in here. I haven't seen any signs of swarming or swarm preparations. Just going to leave it go. I marked an X on that for a reason. Oh wow, why did I do that? Yeah. Alright, we'll close them up. I might have missed the eggs. Look at all them bees down in there. This hive is booming. Try to get a picture of that. All right. Alrighty. So not successful in seeing the queen on this one, but that's okay. I didn't see any thing super concerning. Right. This is a new smoker to me, so I'm learning with it. It's a little taller than the other one used to be. And so I think I have to remember to push the fuel down. Okay. Put the scooter on. Super on. I could hear the frames rattling, so it's important on your honey supers to try to keep them, well, actually all of your boxes, try to keep your frames together so the spacing's right. Otherwise you end up with some really irregular honeycomb, and it can be a challenge to fix. All right. And if you look over here on the side, you can see where all the bees just kind of congregated as I was doing my inspection. Grab a picture of that. And it looks like the skunk's been working in front of this box too. Alright folks, well, successful inspection. I'm happy that I didn't upset this hive too much by doing that bee program. Makes me feel a little bit better about doing them in the future. Both hives are starting to put honey away, which is a good sign. They'll have all of June to work, and then I'll start thinking about pulling honey supers off, but we've got some time yet. Thanks for tagging along, and everybody be safe and have a good week, and I'll talk to you next time.